Hello, it's not Masters. Today I'm going to be criticizing this YouTuber's video named Andy Pants Gaming. I don't know him that much since I've only watched like two of his videos, but I think he's a YouTuber who makes anti-woke content about LGBTQ ruining gaming. I don't think I'm going to leave these videos unchecked because they are filled with claims that are worth debunking. So without further ado, let's dive into today's video. Today we're going to watch a video titled What Happened to Battlefield 6. Quick disclaimer, I'm going to skip some parts of the video so I don't make my video boring and full of paragraphs. There are even some parts that are nothing debunk. So yeah, let's start.
Guys, what happened with Battlefield 6 is really simple. We got rug pulled. The trailers made us think we were going to get a badass Battlefield single player campaign. Instead, we got sermons about diversity from a black lesbian girl boss in a low stakes 4-hour story and emotion and brotherhood and duty and service. What we see in Battlefield 6 is a fat, liberal, purple haired white woman trying to write a based story that only a man could write. Mills's house, and she was your handler at the CIA. And of course, they're never going to say no to putting an empowered black girl boss in a position of power.
Ah yes, the classic LGBTQ stereotype. Black lesbian girl boss. Nothing is wrong here. I mean, I might as well go to a black community and say, fried chicken eaters. Nothing is going to happen to me, right? I swear, these YouTubers use this line as dog whistles inside of online communities as a way to tell others, I'm against anything labeled woke, or something like, I'm a part of your group. There are many reasons why a game can be ruined, such as bad management, rushed deadlines, poor design choices. You could have literally done basic research that only takes a few minutes, but instead you decided to scapegoat the LGBTQ community for your homophobia. That's not criticism, that's discrimination. You're targeting identity, not writing issues. Stop blaming a specific community that doesn't fully explain the problem that BF6 has because you're distorting the criticism. Next debunk.
We were wrong. It's been 5 months and there's like one big map. We assumed the game would be realistic and immersive. Instead, they added unrealistic female operators screaming like they got hot coffee thrown on them. Do you suppose the gay cucks who made Battlefield 6 did some research and saw that not even 1 in 100 soldiers who see combat globally are women? Nah, of course not, because you gotta get your stunning and brave on. I'm going to say no to putting an empowered black girl boss in a position of power. So she does all the usual stuff a general would do, yells, acts like a man. It's cringe. Like, how low does your testosterone have to be to actually like girl bosses in media? Just go to the gym, dude. Another funny line in this opening segment was between Mills and Gecko, yet another female girl boss sniper on the team.
You put me on the team because I'm a hunter.
Do they understand that less than 1% of women actually see combat in the military? But again, that doesn't matter. You toxic misogynists must be taught a lesson.
This is a classic argument that I've seen in many Battlefield 6 content videos, especially on TikTok, where women shouldn't be in a military game because it's considered unrealistic and ruins immersion. I'm gonna have to prove you all how this argument is entirely flawed once we look at it deeply. Battlefield 6 is a video game, and video games are meant to be realistic. It's made for entertainment and fun. Besides, Battlefield 1 also has gameplay mechanics that are considered unrealistically impossible. For instance, in BF1, you can revive a player with a syringe even if they were just shot in the head by a scout player. That's not only unrealistic, but impossible at the same time because syringes in real life are meant to inject fluids inside of the body, not magically bring someone back to life. Sure, you're right about one thing. There aren't a lot of women in active combat roles. However, we're talking about a video game, not real-life militaries according to the title of your video. Not everyone enjoys strict realism, just like not everyone's favorite ice cream flavor is vanilla just because it feels default. If you think that video games should be realistic just because of women being in a military game, then by that logic, we should remove the ability to revive someone with a syringe because it's unrealistic in a 1v1 setting like Battlefield 1. We should remove the ability to naturally heal because getting shot is lethal and it's unrealistic to keep moving as if nothing happened. Oh, now it doesn't sound fun anymore, doesn't it? If we're talking about real militaries, Yes, there aren't many women participating in active combat roles, but in a video game, this fact is completely irrelevant. Your realism argument is inconsistent because you only apply it to women, not to dozens of unrealistic mechanics that you already accept. So if you tolerate all of that but draw the line at women, then your argument isn't about realism. It's about preference disguised as realism. Next argument.
And guys, as always, it never fails. Look at the LGBTQ mafia and the fat liberal women who made this game.
Okay, this image right there, the one you're seeing right now, is 100% fake. This is not DICE Studios. This is a different AA company called That's No Moon Entertainment. It's literally how it's called. I can show you a screenshot. This is the entire explanation of That's No Moon Entertainment. He's providing fake evidence, so his claim feels supported. Here's a few more screenshots and me asking questions about the AA company. I thought this video was supposed to be honest, not try to get clicks and views by lying to your audiences, man.
Funny to me is that in every Battlefield game prior to 2016, you couldn't even play as a woman, because of course not. I think Battlefield 1, despite being a really good game, added a DLC later on that enabled you to play as a woman. But in Battlefield 1942, BF2, the Bad Company games, 3, 4, in all these games, you couldn't even play as a female. But now they're going to act like you're the weird one because you don't want to hear women screaming in your military game. Yeah.
Unlike your loving friends on Twitter, I'm going to give you an answer why it happened. The reason why older Battlefield titles didn't allow you to play as a woman wasn't because DICE was a misogynistic company. No, they did this because they heavily prioritized historical accuracy and realism over entertainment, meaning that realism first, fun in second. This led to male characters being the default model. However, as time passed, including society evolving, DICE shifted their philosophy from strict realism to entertainment and player choice. That's why you see women in military games today. Not only that, women were added to make the game exclusive and make everyone feel supported. If we kept Battlefield 6 strict to realism like in older Battlefield titles, meaning you couldn't play as a woman, it will unintentionally reinforce harmful gender stereotypes that video games are for males. Again, Battlefield 6 is a video game, and video games aren't designed to be realistic. Next Debunk.
You shouldn't be surprised to know that later in the game, one of the main characters dies, and it's built up to be this big sad thing, and he gets, of course, killed by the evil white man. But again, I felt nothing, because none of these countries are real. This isn't a real conflict, and the game does zero to make me care about this squad fighting a fictional war against a private military contracting company. So I want to zoom out for a minute, though, and talk about the countries involved. So notice the good examples of storytelling in military games that I gave you earlier involve these two things. Number 1, real countries. Number 2, real conflicts. That's key. I remember back in 2003 when Call of Duty first came out, everybody was hyping it up because they said you could storm the beaches in Normandy. It was cool to play in a game where you could play a real historical event. In Battlefield 1, you were fighting in real conflicts that actually took place. Are you beginning to notice the pattern here? It's really hard to give a shit about anything that happens in BF6 because it doesn't involve real countries and it doesn't involve real conflicts. Now, I fully understand that quite a few of the Battlefield campaigns are based on fictional conflicts, but in the older games, they really tried to mirror pretty close to real life stuff. So I think the big reason the BF6 campaign feels so toothless and boring and like HR wrote it is because they didn't have the balls to put anything real in it. There's no real countries, there's no real conflicts. None of it maps to reality in any way.
I understand that it might feel frustrating to you since real conflicts feel immersive than fictional ones. Not everyone enjoys fictional conflicts, I understand that. While I cannot tell the exact reason why DICE decided to add fictional conflicts, but here's one possible reason. The reason why DICE added fictional conflicts over real ones was because they were trying to make the game safe and avoid any controversies that can negatively affect the game. If DICE added real conflicts, like Israel versus Palestine, and even show cutscenes of Gaza getting bombed, it can cause a lot of controversies, but not in a good way. It can be very sensitive to most people especially to those who are even victims of the war. This can negatively affect marketing a lot. That's where DICE decided to draw the line between real and fictional. So no, it's not that they don't have the balls to do it, it's just a strategic decision to avoid any consequence. That just proves that you unintentionally don't care about human suffering. This is my personal reason why DICE did not add real conflicts, but you know what? Let's do a few basic researches, shall we? Okay, so I have done my research and here's what it says. You can pause the video anytime you want. I'm not going to waste your time reading it for you.
They also have multiple devs at DICE who celebrated the death of Charlie Kirk because, again, they are gay and they worship Satan.
Really? Let's look it up, shall we? Yeah, there are no evidence of DICE making fun of Charlie Kirk's death. This is the second time you faked up evidence, my guy. How long are you gonna keep doing this until you realize that it's bad?
Also, this game doesn't have proximity chat. Our creators has very fun proximity chat. It's literally just a button for them to push to turn that on, and they're too gay to do it. And it's because of toxicity and, oh, I'm gonna get my feelings hurt in a video game.
The reason why DICE didn't add proximity chat wasn't because they're soft. There are several reasons why most Battlefield titles did not include proximity chat, but because I don't want to make this video boring, I'm only going to include two reasons. First reason, Battlefield's scale makes proximity chat chaotic. Everyone knows that Battlefield maps are huge with 64 players, vehicle explosions, and other loud stuff. If everyone knew you could talk, the audio mix would turn into unintelligible chaos. It doesn't have any benefit in real matches. Second, it creates moderation problems. People who like to troll will use proximity chat to blast through music and create other loud sounds that can either distract or hurt players' ears. Not only that, some people will use proximity chat to be racist, sexist, and even harass other players. Moderating that across thousands of matches is nearly impossible. That's why DICE only included team and squad chat because it's easier to control and less likely to turn into a mess. So no, it's not that they'll get their feelings hurt. There are more reasons than one.
Also, as I said earlier, women running around screaming completely ruins any immersion this game had.
That's your opinion. Not everyone has the same opinion as you. For example, I might say that women screaming in a war game increases immersion even more. Another person might say that it doesn't affect immersion as long as the game is still in good condition, while another person might say that it does ruin immersion. Everyone has preferences. Another thing I want to mention is that if women screaming did truly ruin immersion in military games, then no one would have played the Russian DLC in Battlefield 1 because hearing a female scout screaming ruins the immersion like you claimed. However, that DLC was widely enjoyed and never sparked the kind of outrage you're describing. Not to mention that this DLC is still played to this day. This just shows how narrow your view of the world is. Stop treating your opinion as a fact. We are all humans with different opinions.
The content has been drip fed for this game so slowly that most people just don't want to hang around and wait for it. Another thing is that the multiplayer is just riddled with bugs, people clipping through the maps, issues with the maps, all kinds of garbage is going on, and they haven't been able to fix it. But guys, it's because a bunch of girl boss lesbians and purple hairs work at this company, and these are the last people on earth who actually know how to code. Just so obvious that they're trying to be Call of Duty, and they're failing because it sucks. All right, boys, that's about all I have to say about BF6. We got rug pulled, and this is why I have consistently said that all the women and gays have to be fired from game companies, and everybody has to go out of business, and we just have to start over.
No, we're not gonna do that and fire all of these people. Here's why. 1. it doesn't solve the problem that BF6 has. Like I said before, a video game can be ruined due to bad management and rushed deadlines. Firing somebody for being a part of the LGBTQ still leaves the problem unsolved. Firing someone doesn't do anything useful. 2. It normalizes discrimination. If we fire people for being a part of the LGBTQ, it sends a message that it's okay to hate and fire somebody for being themselves, which normalizes the idea that certain identities are less deserving of safety, dignity, or opportunity. Once you justify discrimination against one group, you create a problem that any group can be targeted next. That doesn't solve the problem. It erases basic human rights. Third, it will make things worse. If we fire someone for simply being themselves, we're not solving the problem. We're creating new ones. You lose skilled workers, morale drops, and the remaining team is forced to absorb the workload under rushed deadlines. That's how you get bad management decisions, sloppy executions, and design failures. Discrimination doesn't fix performance issues, it manufactures them. Also, your claim that they're the only people who don't know how to code is absurdly wrong. Sexuality doesn't affect coding. If that were true, then every straight person would automatically know how to code, which is obviously not the case. Coding skill comes from education, practice, and experience, not sexuality. Take a look at me as an example. You think just because I'm straight, I automatically know how to code? No, I'm dumb as shit. I don't know anything about coding except play video games. If you place me inside of a coding room, you'll see me doing newbie stuff because I never learned how to code. Anyways, that's the entire video. Yeah, after watching this video, I believe it's filled with lies, claims, discrimination, and even fake evidence. These YouTubers who make outrage videos really need to stop, think, and make basic research before making a criticism video, because what I just saw isn't about criticism, it's all a lie. I hope you all enjoyed my debunks. If you think my arguments are wrong, comment down below and present your points. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give me a like, and if you enjoy my content, consider subscribing. It will really make me happy. If not, that's fine. I'm okay with it. You can move on with your day. Have a good day, evening, or night, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.